I'm Ginger. Today we're talking about Yummzy, the first low-carb and vegan cafe in the UK, I think, but it's in London, and there's gonna be a keto meetup there on the 18th of August, and I'm gonna be there! If you want more details about it, you find them down in the description below, and now you can watch an interview with me and one of the founders of Yummzy, and you can also see me taste the stuff so you can get an idea of how delicious that is. Enjoy! I've been keto for almost 6 years, and today we do something that thankfully it's doable now. We can have keto out in the wild. And the reason why we can eat keto in the wild in London is because of Yummzy! Angeli is from Yummzy, and they hosted me today with this amazing stuff, which we'll get to in a second. But because this is the first, not only keto, not only low carb, but vegan as well place
yes.
that serves and caters to everybody, I'm just curious to see basically what kind where do you go around between all these boundaries where you can't have eggs but you also can't have flour? Like how did you work out? I'm gonna find a solution to all of those boundaries at the same time.
Sure, I like the fact you call them boundaries. For me, I see them as opportunities, not boundaries. So when something is vegan, it means I don't have to worry as much about storing it as I would with something that has meat or has eggs components or milk or so on. So for me, being vegan is not a boundary, it's an enabler, let's say. For me, having something that is low carb and gluten free, the only difference would be instead of outsourcing almond flour that has risk of contamination with gluten, I just have to go for suppliers that have absolutely no risk of contamination. Which means not only can a diabetic or a keto person enjoy that dessert, they can enjoy it with someone who's celiac.
That is actually something that I noticed downstairs, because not only you have delicious sweet baked goods, which we see around and we're like, finally we can have something sweet, and without having then eggs or dairy or anything, it's sort of a natural way to make it last longer then. I never realized that.
We try not to keep things for too long. To be honest, they do sell before they stay.
They look so nice that I would be surprised if they stay there too long. I've been here for an hour before we sat down, and I saw at least like 10 different people coming around and having a bit of the ice cream, and then I'll have a bit of the donut, and then a slice of the beautiful chocolate and hazelnut, which I'm like, it's Nutella in a cake! That looked amazing. So how long have you been doing this, and how did it come to you, like, let's start doing things with all these opportunities?
Sure, with all these opportunities, I like that. Let's say that I've been type 1 diabetic since the age of 5.
Okay.
And my mother has tried her best to get me to enjoy things, to enjoy life and so on. But sometimes it meant smaller portions of a cake. And I'm sorry, but 1 spoon of a cake does not make it keto or low carb, it's still cake.
If it's sugar, it's not okay.
Exactly. So my mom also tried to make recipes without sugar, my grandmother, they all tried these different things. But end of the day, the flour meant it was very high carb. So even if it was with stevia, it still meant that was the high carb due to the flour. So I started by baking my own things at home, trying to make it low carb for me to enjoy. My husband is lactose intolerant, so I had to kind of exclude the milk. And then my best friend is vegan, so I had to kind of make it vegan. And we have a cousin who's celiac, so we kind of had to make it celiac friendly as well. And then before I know it, I thought, so now celiac, vegan, low carb, this person, that person can all enjoy cake together. But we have a friend who's so picky, and whenever she ate one of my initial cakes, she used to say, oh my god, they taste so horrible. It tastes like earwax. And so I suddenly had someone who was addicted to sugar assessing my cakes as well. Which meant not only did they have to be low carb, gluten-free, sugar-free, vegan, high protein, they had to be rated 5 out of 5. And actually they had to compete with proper cake brands that were out there full of sugar that she would enjoy, and then come and say, I had afternoon tea and it tasted better than this. So suddenly I had someone on my back telling me, you have to do it better. So now the cakes are low carb, gluten-free, sugar-free, vegan, high protein, and delicious, as our staff say, and as a Greenwich good food.
Speaking of which, this is the time that you asked me to remind that I've tried this before, and I don't mind having a taste again. This one I actually haven't tried. What is this one?
So this is the Dreamy Pistachia Heart.
Oh, I haven't had pistachio in so long. as
Yeah, and it has pure pistachio cream inside with decadent chocolate. Yeah, it's a bite of a sun kiss.
No. There is one thing that I need to say and testify to all of your cake foundations. One of the things in keto that I always find is that it tends to be thick and dense because we have to use a lot of heavy flours or high fat flours. I don't know how you do this, but they taste real. They taste like the carby thing I expect to taste like.
And fluffy, right?
It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be the friend who wants delicious and fluffy. That would be our contribution to
the
this.
chocolate is so chocolatey. Like,
I know, we use pure Savouries state cacao.
I was gonna say, I'm not gonna ask for your secrets, but that sounds really intense to just be cocoa powder. That's kind of amazing. Oh my god, thank you.
You'll be surprised how many brands of You're Welcome, Bon Appetit,
It's so intense and chocolatey, like
Thank
proper, like the brownie that you make out of a bar of chocolate. That intense. That's so good.
But fluffy.
But absolutely, no, that's the thing. That's the thing that got me at the beginning. I got here thinking, I'm gonna have low carb treats. Amazing, because I cannot be bothered to make them. But, you know, I still expected them to be low carb stuff. So, you know that's as close as you can get as a version. I tried the donuts, I tried the cake, Robin tried the Mediterranean savory things, which actually I really appreciate the savory part as well. I didn't expect it, but it was really appreciated. And they just taste real, like they have the consistency of normal cake, like the fluffy and airy stuff.
Not everybody had to live type 1 diabetic, so this place is meant to be inclusive. Inclusive for a diabetic, inclusive for a keto person, a vegan, a low carb, gluten-free, celiac, and inclusive to people who just want to enjoy desserts.
No, let's think about the people like me who unfortunately don't live in London. I know that you are considering or maybe having plans, if not to like deliver stuff to, you're doing markets and stuff. Like I know that you are the allergy and the food
Free from, yeah.
So that's it. So can we expect to find this stuff around the UK, or there are going to be markets around the UK, or at some point you're going to deliver around the UK? When are you going to give us more of this stuff if we don't happen around Greenwich? Because really, now I have an issue going back to Wales.
Well, you're welcome to move to London. We are looking for a good chef, so please move to London, move to Greenwich.
Chef, I can be good. I think
don't worry,
that's not quite my thing. But
you're already halfway there.
Oh.
You're great with your keto products. All we need to do is tell you a few secrets and engineering recipes we do. No, so yes, we are trying to expand. The problem being a small family business means 3 people have to do everything Yummzy related.
Wow.
Social media, the baking falls on one person mostly at the moment. The
we
market,
don't have variety. You have so much stuff just on the
exactly
window.
Because when customers walk in, they don't really care. It's 2 people only baking, and both of them are part-time. People care. I came all the way here. I want to eat something, and it better be good. And that's the level of excellence we deliver.
It delivers, it does deliver. The variety delivers, and the quality of every single. I tried at least 10 different things already today.
Oh wow!
And none of them left me short or anything.
You contributed to our turnover for today.
Happily so. Worth it. Honest. Actually,
we need it. Thank you.
No, to be perfectly honest with you, like I think we had 2 drinks, and then we had 6 or 7 of little things between donuts and this or that. We spent 20 quid, which was, although honesty, for how much ingredients of these things were cost, and I know that's not much at all. Like I would spend more in Starbucks if I were to get a piece of cake, those many pieces of cakes and 2 drinks. So no, like that's incredible to me. Even the bakeries that are around already and are selling keto stuff, people cry blood when they see that a loaf of bread, if they buy it keto, would cost 15 quid. And the fact that I had 7 different completely regular sized donuts, like not try size, and a slice of cake and a slice of the Mediterranean cake, and it was like 7 or 8 different things, and we spent 20 quid with 2 drinks. Like that's also for the position that you have in Greenwich and everything, like
I'm
that's
glad
amazing.
you mentioned that. I'm really glad you mentioned that, because a lot of the time you get people coming in and the first thing they say is, this much for a donut. And I'm thinking, okay, I only answer the question if they're asking it rather than judging them with it. But I usually say, okay, so imagine that donut is made with almond flour. The price of almond flour compared to normal gluten-free flour, because there are a lot of gluten-free donuts out there, but let's face it, it's contaminated, gluten-free, which means it's not safe for celiac. So the price of this donut covers the fact it has no risk of cross-contamination. It has also the overhead of running a place, a shop, the cost of training staff who are actually not chefs by nature. Some of them came here and became web developers, some of them came here and learned to bake, some of them came here and never had a job before and this was their first job and we trained them from scratch. Local staff. Everything is handmade, not machine made like the big brands you see on the street. And our margin is so small. You can ask anyone who's seen me before. Even we have a wedding cake coming up that we're making.
Really?
And the bride was saying, oh, this is my budget. And I said, we'll meet your budget. And everybody in the shop was saying to me, but this doesn't even cover your cost. And I said, look, I'm not going to ruin a bride's wedding. I hope not many people will do this. But the point is we run at such low margin, which is probably the reason why we are in big trouble now financially. But I'm glad you mentioned that because only a person like you who understands how much keto costs and how much the ingredients cost and even cross-contamination, it's much cheaper to add eggs to our recipe. Actually, the recipe would cost me about a third less if I add just egg. And it will cost me half less if I add egg and milk. But to keep it vegan, to keep it this consistency, to keep it this taste, to keep it all of this, it costs us almost the same as the price we sell it for.
And honestly, it not only shows in quality, but again, price-wise, I kept on having in my head, you go to a cafe or for a chat like Starbucks, you wouldn't get those many things for that price
and
anyway.
it wouldn't be made by the hand of the person selling it to you.
And the amount of ingredients and numbers that you would get there, you can even begin to count.
And it wouldn't be as filling either because it raises your blood sugar, so you end up
Exactly.
No, it's I knew of you by fame, but being able to test it firsthand, which by the way I need to thank Elliot from the Keto Kitchen because I knew about the existence here, but until I saw Elliot try the stuff on camera because his mom brought him back, I was like, no, okay,
thanks, Elliot.
I need me some of that, and did I need that indeed. I know of her that you're running a GoFundMe now, so do you want to tell me a bit about that so that maybe people can actually discover that, and as long as we have you, we can keep you make stuff for us. So if there's a way that we can help, we want to find a way for that.
That's amazing actually. So the GoFundMe page was actually, we have been struggling for a few months. We have amazing customers like you who appreciate what we do. I know that the prices are great. We have other customers that come for a birthday or birthday cake or one-offs or so on. Now, we've seen big chains in the last few months literally fall on their knees, big high street chains. So you can only imagine how aggressive it is for a small family business where it's funded literally by the savings of my husband and I, my husband who's a school teacher, me who's an IT consultant. Going through these different months, we realized all the months that we were going to hit this point, but we only decided to do the GoFundMe page when we realized there is no other way other than to either shut down or to be able to do the GoFundMe page. So people will say, so what are we funding? Are we funding a business to continue going and just bleeding the way it is bleeding? No, not really. So the fact we're restricted with a very small space means whenever we buy ingredients, we're buying them at extremely high price.
Because you can't bulk buy them.
Without mentioning our suppliers, one which you know today. So part of my discussion before I met you today was, we buy this item from you for £16.99. Can't we get a supplier, can't we get a big discount on that? We've been buying over 200 kilograms of it. And he said, no, because you buy it like 5 or 10 kilograms at a time. Yes, you buy it 3 times a week because you don't have space, but I can only give you the discount if it's 100 kilograms at a time. But I don't have the storage space. So I asked, okay, instead of £16.99, how much would I buy that item from you for if I had more storage space? And he said to me, £8.
Wow.
So that's already the price of an ingredient half, just because of storage space. That's the same story with almond flour. That's the same story with butter, vegan butter. That's the same story with nut butters. That's the same story with everything, with cacao, with everything. The more it's economy of scales, the more you have, the cheaper it will be. The other thing we would like to use it for, other than moving to a bigger venue, the bigger venue would hopefully allow us also to have a storage area and a packaging area. Why?
Right.
Because as investors, people want to hear the story of how successful the product they invested in is. not just that they helped this product survive for 2 months and boom, it
Yeah.
went down. So
we want you to stay for good. So we want to know that this is gonna last and we can get the goodies.
And I have exciting news for you, how this, I would hope it would pan out. The other part of this that we're trying to satisfy is that we are hoping that new place will give us even a small, even 2 meter by 2 meter packaging area, which means we can package our products better and be able to sell them in big supermarkets. Not big, we are artisan, we're not going to go to the regular supermarkets you get down the road. We're going to go to artisan supermarkets, health stores and so on.
Yeah.
But that will allow us to package it for them. And that way, you don't have to come all the way to Yummzy. Yummzy can be somewhere closer to you or more accessible to you.
Ooh, that starts to be interesting, really interesting.
And the other exciting bit, that's not the last part. I'll leave the low-carb cherry on top of the cream when I'm done. But the next exciting part is if we have more space and we have the funding, we can also easily look into things like packaging for sending to Cardiff. Or sending to Scotland, or sending to this, or
so
sending to
properly
that.
expanding the business in an online shop.
Well, yes, our main, you asked me this question earlier, our main barrier, we spoke to consultants who are packaging consultants. We did try what they suggested by sending one package and unfortunately it didn't work out. And it backfired on us. Luckily it was someone internal, but it did backfire on us. So if we have the facility to consult with and if we have the bulk orders and everything, so we go to a mailing company, a shipping company, and we say, guys, we're going to give you 50 orders a week to dispatch for us. They give us good prices. We have the storage space. All this magic is happening from the help of one fridge.
Oh, wow.
So you can imagine, I am baking now only to be enough for today, and then tomorrow I'm baking again because I don't have fridge storage. If I have the fridges, I can bake for 50 people outside London and send it to them. No problem. And the last part, which is the low-carb cherry on top of the cream, low-carb cream, is the fact that initially when we started Yummzy, the plan was to start one branch in London, to open a second branch in Manchester, and I know we have a lot of Manchester fans.
Wow.
We have a family that comes from Manchester, they know who they are. We have a family that comes from Manchester every 3 weeks, and they call it the Yummzy pilgrimage. Our second branch will hopefully be in Manchester if we manage to survive. It's a hard time. As I said, even the big chains are falling down. So family businesses are only even worse off than big chains. The third branch would be somewhere like Southampton.
Yeah,
Not like
fair enough.
Southampton, we plan to have it there. And then after that, we plan to expand on the other sides. Wales, I don't want you to get too excited.
Well, if it's there, I'm happy. I'll be honest, but I'll commute meanwhile. I'll commute. That's fine. That's fair. That's fair. It's worth it. Thank you so much for answering all the questions.
The maple pecan.
Don't
You're peaked out today.
No.
The good news is
Oh my
all
God.
under 5 grams of carb.
The flavor is so
This
tempting.
one is 3 point something grams of carb, by the way.
It's so tempting. That's the amazing thing I forgot to say. Like, not just this bit, the entire bit, which we made it in 4, would be 3 grams of carbs. So you see my point there. That's so I know that I can't ask you what you put in there, but it's so tempting. It tastes like maple, the real thing.
But it's not the real thing because that's not low carb. Maple is not low carb. We're very careful what we add.
You know what? You don't have to tell me your secrets. It's 3 grams of carbs. That's all I need to know. It tastes delicious. Julie, thanks so much for having me today. And guys, if you happen around London, come around Greenwich because it's so worth it. Try everything. Let me know what you try. If you go and try, please leave me a comment and let me know what you tried and let me know how you liked it and how it affected you. And you will find the links for the GoFundMe with all the details of what it will actually help with and all the details down in the description below. So go check it out if you want to hope to have your own Yummzy deliciousness either in a city close to you or delivered to you. This is the way that we need to go for because we don't have anything else here in the UK that is this good and we deserve it. We deserve it for ourselves. It's a selfish thing, really. We go and do GoFundMe because we're selfish and we want this. That's the truth of it. Bye.